I don't deserve it is just an excuse. It doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. That's not the point. And hey, odds are you're probably right. I'm sure you don't deserve it. It's not about what you deserve. It's about what's holding you back from being who you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to do, or giving what you're supposed to give. You know, back in the day when I lived in my very first apartment, like by myself, on my own living, I really loved fruit at that time, and I just loved eating really good fruit. However, I went through this phase where I wouldn't get myself any good fruit. Why? I literally told myself, oh, you don't deserve it. And it's like, isn't that weird? I would tell myself, you don't deserve good fruit. You don't get any. And I don't understand why exactly I was doing that. I know I had a very bad financial mindset at that time as well. Just like kind of messed up, don't you think? Oh, you don't deserve healthy food. You don't deserve good organic fruit. Blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you the story of why I'm thinking about this right now. So many years ago, I was on a feature film set, an independent feature film, but it was a feature film. In Australia, no less. Oh, little backstory. I went to a 2-year tech school for video production. Then I ended up in Australia and randomly had the opportunity while I was there to be on set for a feature film. Technically, I was on the electronic press kit team, and on this indie film, they were using a Sony A7 series. I think it was Mark II at that time. And I remember just fawning over it. And everyone there was like, oh yeah, we got the good stuff, you know? And I even got to hold it in my hands at one point, and I got to like test it out a little bit. And I just remember thinking, oh, this is elite. This is like top level at that time. It just seemed like amazing to me. I couldn't even believe I got to hold it in my hands for a little bit. It was incredible. So that was kind of my mentality, that the Sony A7s were like, oh my gosh, you know, pro status. Ever since then, I kind of had it in my head that I wanted it. You know, it's like, oh, wouldn't that be amazing? But I would never dream of getting it. It's like I wanted it, sure, but there's no way. Okay, fast forward many years, and about 1.5 years ago, I decided I'm gonna get an updated camera. I had a Canon Rebel T3i for this whole time, and I was rocking it this whole time and never upgraded it, which is crazy. And then I decided I was going to do this YouTube channel and get an upgraded camera, and I spent $800 on a Sony camera. I was excited to move to Sony from Canon. But it's the vlogging camera, the EZ10, EV10Z, whatever it is. And it was great, right? I was excited. It was 4K. And I was like, I spent $800. That's nearly $1,000, you know? And when something way better is maybe like 2x, 3x the price. And I was still in a really bad financial mindset, just like how I treated money. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm still growing, but it was like, oh no way, I deserve something like this. I don't deserve anything better, right? And my husband's been trying. He's been working on me, trying to warm me up to the idea of like, hey, you should really get one of these Sony A7 series, because he knew I was fawning over it for years. But I just would never get it. And a whole lot of the reason is, you know, for a lot of it, I didn't have a lot of money. We were doing van life, just didn't have all that much cash. Then we kind of settled in here and worked for a while, and I had a lot of money. We had like 40 grand saved up, and it's like I had 40 grand, and I didn't upgrade a camera. I didn't work on investing in myself in equipment, that sort of thing. And my husband was still trying to work on me, trying to gently encourage me over these years to think about getting it. And I can't believe it has taken me so long to mentally get to the place where I was actually seriously considering getting a Sony A7 series. It took me so long, and my whole mindset through this challenge was, I don't deserve it. And it had some sort of still like elite status in my head, and I kind of like blame college a little bit, because it was like a way, I don't know, it kind of did this gatekeeping thing in my mind. Like, oh, you don't get that until you're at some, I don't know. It was like, I didn't go through the normal routes after college. Like, I was supposed to go get a video job, but it's all corporate stuff, which I never wanted to do anything corporate. I had this gatekeeping kind of thing in my mind where it's like, oh no, I'm just a little piddly thing. I don't get that camera until I'm at some certain level or something. I don't do anything important, or I don't do any professional, I don't have clients. I don't deserve that kind of thing because I'm not at that level. And so that's what I would do to myself there. So that's one aspect of it, like the elite status that it kind of got ingrained in me through college. And then on set with that independent feature film, it was like, oh no, this is like, they're filming a feature film with this. I don't get this kind of camera. This is like, they're filming with a feature film with this, you know? So that was one side of it. The other side of it was the money. You know, I was sitting around $2,500 base price sort of thing before taxes and everything. And I was like, holy cow, I can't imagine spending that much money on myself. And then I was doing these weird things like, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve that kind of, I don't deserve to spend that much money of my hard-earned money on myself. And even like, I've been earning commissions. Like, I don't deserve it. I don't know. It's so weird. And just to imagine spending that much money on a piece of equipment, for some reason, it's like, it just wouldn't work in my brain. Even though you do the math, like, how about over the months, how much you've been spending on snacks or something like that? Or back when I was drinking, how much I would spend on drinking. And it's just, it doesn't make sense when you think of it that way. It's like this, but in my head, I did these weird things, like, because I was like, oh, I could use it for filming YouTube and stuff. And then I was like, I don't deserve that. I'm not pretty enough. I don't have a pretty enough face to deserve that kind of high quality camera. I seriously was going through that, and kind of still am, not gonna lie. Or I was like, I live in this shithole and it's disgusting and ugly and nobody wants to see this. This is the prettiest corner of my house. It's the prettiest corner, and that's why I'm always filming here. It's the only thing I got that has plants and it's like somewhat pretty. I'm not pretty enough. My rental is gross. Nobody wants to see this. And I don't have clients and I'm not making money from it. So I don't deserve it. There's no reason I don't deserve to buy this camera for myself that I've been literally dreaming about that was since 2015. In my head, I keep thinking it's been 5 years. No, 2015, it's been a decade. Oh, that just got real. That just got real. It's been a decade of me pining over this kind of camera. Wow. So the day came 2 weeks ago. I finally decided I was going to get it. Even though the Mark V is coming out supposedly sometime, it was like, I'm never going to get this. And it got to the point where I was like, yes, I need this to be a catalyst. I'm working on some other ideas, not for this YouTube channel, but for something else. And I was like, this is going to be my catalyst to get myself moving on it. And I was like freaking out and not getting it, but I knew I should. And then I saw there was a deal on Amazon, and we were going to do price matching at Best Buy, so I didn't have to worry about shipping and it getting stolen and damaged and blah, blah, blah. My husband and I went to Best Buy, and we got it. It was one left, and I go up and I'm like, you did price matching, right? And turns out it was not sold and shipped by Amazon, so I couldn't do the price matching. And it was in that moment I was like, I'm not gonna get it, because it was like a couple hundred more than I was expecting. And my husband's like, just get it. And I'm like turning red, and it's like this young girl, like I think she's 18, at the cash register, and she's seeing me, like I'm having a physical reaction, like I'm shaking, my face turned beet red as I'm talking with her, because I'm like struggling in my brain. I was like, oh no, the math ain't math, and I can't do this. And then she rang it up, and then the tax on there added like $200, and for some reason I didn't think about it. And so suddenly I'm seeing it's almost $3,000 waiting for me to put my card in. And I was just like, and it's crazy, the physical reaction. I'm glad it didn't happen, but I kind of wish my husband like took a video of me for this vlog sort of thing, because that would have been so embarrassing. I was beet red, and I know that girl, the cashier, was talking to me. She was saying something, and I had to ask my husband later. I'm like, because I responded to her and everything, but I have no idea what she said. I'm like, what did she even say? He's like, oh man, you were really bad, weren't you? Mm-hmm. It was crazy how this actually had a physical reaction on me. Like the act of spending $3,000 on myself, on something I feel like I didn't deserve because I wasn't pretty enough, my house is gross, and I don't have anything worth doing with it, really. I don't get outside, it's hard to get out to the hills, all that sort of thing. I don't have a car, so I can't really get out anywhere and do anything with it. So why am I buying a $3,000 worth of camera? So that reminded me, it's not the point. It doesn't matter if I deserve it or not. What matters is this holding me back? And this has been something that's been holding me back for a decade, apparently. Wow. And it's like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life here? What do I always come back on? And no matter what, I'm always filming. No matter how fat or ugly I feel, I'm like always working on filming something. I always have a YouTube channel. I've had like, I don't know, this is like my 4th YouTube channel or something, where I used to have a bunch of others where I just had some fun. It was my own personal thing. And I'm always doing that. And what's been holding me back is, it's like, yeah, I don't have good quality stuff. And so why don't I try? And to me, it was an excuse, because if I don't have this, now I got the Sony A7 IV, that's what I'm filming on right now, and it's like, ooh, does it even look good? I don't know. I have a lot to learn, and I have to practice, so I have no idea. We're going to practice together. You're going to help me. But when I don't have it, if I didn't have it, it's kind of like an excuse to hold me back from doing what I know I need to be doing. And I've had this idea in my head, and that's why I feel like this YouTube channel hasn't really worked. Like you see, I finally have 1.2 subscribers as of today, but I'm not even monetized yet. My watch hours, as each day comes, I lose more watch hours than I gain, it seems, and I'm just not making progress. I'm not connecting, because this YouTube channel isn't where I'm at mentally. It's like, I'm doing the thing, and I do care about what I'm saying on here, but it's not where my passion is. And I've been working on building, I'm slowly starting to work on building where my actual passion is, and I don't know if I'll share that on this channel or not. Maybe as I learn and go, we'll see. But this has been holding me back, because I wanted what I'm working on over here, I want that to be good, high quality stuff, and I just never had a camera for it, Never had a good high quality camera. Now I do, and now it's like, you're running out of excuses, Ember. You're running out of excuses, and heck, you're running out of time. You better get your butt moving. You better do this. It's like you think you're being humble or something by saying, oh, I don't deserve it. But really, you're being prideful. This is pride. You're thinking about yourself too much. Pride is not thinking about yourself in the right way, like too much, too little. No, you're supposed to be steady and even and view yourself with the value you have, but not be obsessed with yourself, right? When you're just putting yourself down like that, that is a form of pride. You're just thinking about yourself way too much, and instead of putting yourself on a pedestal, you're putting yourself down in the grave, and that's not accurate. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're allowing yourself to be diminished. It's an excuse to not do the hard thing and to activate yourself and to be the best that you can be. It's scary to think about that, because it's a lot of responsibility to be like who you're supposed to be. And who are you supposed to be? You're supposed to be you, with your passions or your excitements and everything. When you hear yourself say, I don't deserve it, change that to, I owe it to myself. Why? Because the world needs me. The world needs what I have to give. If you don't think you have something to give, you do. You just got to figure it out. It doesn't matter that you don't deserve it. I'm sure you don't. What matters is that you owe it to yourself to be the fullest person you can be and give back to the world. That's where I'm at right now. And I actually practiced what I preached. Here I am, filming with the Sony A7 IV. It's crazy. It's crazy. I did it. It took me a decade, but I did it. Maybe you can too. What's holding you back? What are you using as an excuse? Maybe it's time to stop and activate. Activate!